morning, everyone, and by everyone I mean Marcy, and happy Father's Day. I am your host, I am your Kevinly Father, Kevin Williams, and today it is Father's Day. Okay. So, I don't know, do something with your dad, or if you don't have a dad, make a baby, like whatever you guys want to do. Not really sure about this whole Father's Day thing. I just want to do that when my kids were little. You know, mom would come in with kids. I'd be allowed to sleep in until, let's say, 7:38. Mom would come in with the two kids. Kids said, Dad, let's hang out together. It's like, no, it's Father's Day. Just let me do what I want to do. I'm putting in a new floor in the bathroom. Leave me alone. Just get the kids away from me. That's what Father's Day should be. It's not. Do I sound like an old grump? I am. So, mission accomplished. Hi, Deidre. Hi, Stephanie. Hi, Shelley. I thought I'm getting my breakfast now. I'm going to have some toast. Which makes to me, that's a Father's Day right there. I'm having some peanut butter, raspberry jam on some, I don't know what kind of toast it is, just toast. Hopefully everyone has a good Father's Day. We're just going to take a quick look at the news here. The world is melting down in terms of heat and in terms of the economy. Oh no, we're going to recession. No, we're fine. Unemployment is still very low. Unemployment could tick up above 4%. We'd still be okay. We're nowhere near stagflation that everybody's all talking about. We have a supply issue. We have a lot of demand. That's good. Demand is good. And as I pointed out last time, we were negative. We were about 2% negative on the GDP last quarter because we were importing so much stuff to make up for the fact that we didn't get anything for 2 years. So it's good. Now, does that mean everyone's economy is rosy and cheery and everybody's got enough money? No, of course not. Still the same America. Oh no, gas is $5 a gallon. Poor people can't afford gas. Poor people can't afford gas. Poor people can never afford gas. We have a wage disparity in this country. Half of the people that work at Walmart full time, did I say Walmart? And that's a place too. I don't know on the stats that they're all on government assistance of some kind. We have the lower rung that are not making near enough money. If you think about it, if federal minimum wage was $15 an hour, people's commute would cost them 20 minutes. That's a gallon of gas. If gas is $5 a gallon, that's 20 minutes worth of work. They're not paying federal tax, so that's 20 minutes if federal minimum wage is $15. It's not. That's part of the issue. You want to make it better for people at the bottom? Give them more money. Oh no, you can't give poor people more money. That stimulates demand and drives up inflation. Now suddenly the Republicans care about poor people. Please. Poor people, and by poor I mean people making up to about $150,000. And that's not poor people, but you'll see where I'm going with this. There was a federal tax credit last year of $300 per child if they were over 6. If they're under 6, they had $350, $400, whatever it was, doesn't matter. So a family, and that's 90% of American children, a family with kids was getting an extra $300, $600, $900 a month. Every single month, which more than offsets the cost of inflation for the average American family. Oh, no, hardworking families, gas is $5, we can't do, no, gas, fine. Give them just one kid, here's $300. How much of it's costing you $1.50 more to get gas per gallon. This covers your month. Taken care of. You want to buy some bacon? Oh, bacon's more expensive. Here, buy some bacon. Here's that money. Republicans blocked the renewal of the child tax credit. They do not care. They don't. If you give people money, they're just going to increase demand. Yeah, because consumers are about half this economy. Buying things is what America does. Republicans do not want that. Republicans want this economy to fail. Republicans are talking about an American recession where people will lose houses. People, if they have houses. People will lose jobs. People will lose any form of income that allows them to feed their children in a healthy manner, and Republicans are gleeful about it. Because everything was great under Trump. Excuse me, but is there anyone watching right now that wouldn't say that 2020 was not the worst year of their life? Yes, if you lost a loved one in 2016, terrible, I get it. But in terms of just general living, 2020 sucked. The economy crashed 32%. 20 million people lost their jobs. Everybody was staying at home all the time. Nobody was making new television shows. So all this Netflix watching, like we caught up with everything. We're like, should we watch that French show now? What's it called? Lupin? I mean, I've heard it's wonderful. At random is still negative. That's good. I'm still negative, as far as I know. But I'm positive about America. Let's take a look at one of the main forms of panic in today's society. Maria Bartiromo doing Sunday Morning Futures on the Fox.
Dan Niles on.
So loud in my ear. I don't know what it's like in yours. Hold on. You guys have a different volume level than I do, so you should be okay.
Belt tightening and.
Yeah, you're fine. Quit your bitching.
Protecting your family during recessionary times. As the economic hardship and wide open borders spark a wave of Hispanics
borders are not wide open.
To move to the GOP with a stunning victory in South Texas this week.
It wasn't stunning. It was to be expected. New districts, not a great Democratic challenger, and yeah, border problems. Not caused because there's open borders.
Republican.
Borders are not open, by the way. The CBP are arresting people en masse at the border. More than 200,000 encounters in May, and Republicans are 200,000, almost 250,000 illegals came across the border. No, actual people, it was about 177,000. 178, I'll round up. 107. Oh, 250,000. No. Still, 178, that's a lot. There's no reason to lie. But I honestly don't believe it's a lie for the people saying this. They just don't have good reading comprehension. They don't understand that encounters are different than actual people. You can encounter the same people multiple times.
Mayra Flores flips a seat held by Democrats for 100 years. She will join us here live ahead of her swearing in next week. Then Russia's blackmail.
For those of you who don't know, that's a special election for a seat that's going to be held again in November or December. I forget. Texas has strange elections. But basically, and the district will be different at that point because of redistricting. As I understand it, that could be changed because of the court cases and stuff like that. She's actually going to cover the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Because that's out of the news now. Nobody cares anymore.
New threats to America revealed in new intelligence this morning. And the ranking member of the House's Intel Committee, his letter to the president, Congressman Mike Turner, on Biden's plan to stop Russia and China from blackmailing America. It's all right here, right now on Sunday Morning Futures. From Afghanistan, adversaries have been on the march. Russia attacking Ukraine. China picking up the bullying of Taiwan in its air defense base. North Korea testing its own nuclear ambitions. And last week, President Biden agreed to a waiver of intellectual property when it comes to U.S. COVID vaccines, once again eroding intellectual property protection in America and benefiting China. Just 2 months.
Also, saving humanity. Peanut butter on toast was a bad idea. But you know what? It's delicious and it's Father's Day. That's the excuse I'm using for everything I do today. Allowing the rest of the world, the developing world, to get COVID vaccines saves millions of lives. You can ask Trump. Millions of lives by saving people with his vaccine. Allowing people to produce it without patent. Good. We need this for humanity. Because when other countries aren't producing the goods Americans want to buy, inflation happens. Wow.
After doing away with the China Initiative, which was investigating China's continued intellectual property theft. The president's poll numbers are now at another new low this morning. Joining me right now to discuss the missteps and what to do about it is former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. Secretary, it's great to see you this morning, and happy Father's Day to you.
Thank you very much. I'm proud to be the father of my son, Nick, and to all the fathers out there, bless you. Stay in your kids' lives. Keep working hard to make sure that the next generation that comes behind us is a great one as well. And to all the dads, thanks for what you do. And Maria, I know your father passed away. Mine passed away a couple of years back. And bless all those fathers that have meant so much to our country over all these years. They are an important part of American institutions that have made this country great.
Well, thank you for that, Secretary.
First time I've ever heard somebody say Happy Father's Day and make sure you stay in your kids' lives. Okay. That's going to make the difference. Thanks, Mike.
And you have focused on leadership.
Like, who's he trying to reach out to there? God? Because God was just about the worst absentee father in history.
From day one in your extensive resume, I want to...
Oh, and then showed up 30 years later and had his son crucified. Happy Father's Day indeed.
Get your take on where we are today. Assess what's most important for people.
Oh, that's a good point. Marcy points out she's surprised at the bicycle. Biden fell off a bicycle yesterday. Hopped right back up, started talking to a family. He was fine. But it was all over Twitter. She's surprised that wasn't the lead this morning.
People, I know you've been traveling. You went to 4 states just in the last few days. What are you hearing from constituents?
Well, Maria, you went through in your opening a long list of things that are just troubling the American people. The biggest challenge we face in the immediate term is the fact that families are being impacted.
Hold on. What constituents? He doesn't have any constituents. I think he's trying to run, but he's been to 4 different states. He may be working up a run for a presidential bid right now. He has no chance. DeSantis is the only one with any chance right now. But we don't know what's going to happen.
Impacted in ways they're having to fundamentally reshape their lives. Folks who thought that they were retired can see that their savings now are worth a half or 2/3 of what they were just a handful of weeks ago, and they may
not true.
Have to re-enter the workforce after they'd already planned for their life for decades. Families who were trying to buy a home now find that interest rates are at 6%. Grocery shelves in stores are empty. This is deeply un-American. It is a result of failed policy from the White House.
Outside of specialty baby formula, there's baby formula out there, by the way. Specialty baby formula for people with allergies, etc. Those are hard to find. But has anyone else seen empty shelves at the grocery stores recently? Because I have not in the Los Angeles area. Now, granted, we're right by one of the shipping ports, several of the shipping ports, actually. So maybe we get the first stuff. But, I mean, apart from Amazon brand recycle or rechargeable batteries, I haven't seen anything that I can't get right now. There's choices.
This has all really taken place over the last 18 months since the...
If you're watching right now and you have if you're watching this live, it's 10:15 p.m. 10:15 a.m. on Sunday morning. This is Pacific time. I'm in Los Angeles. And if you need to be... Never mind. I was about to do a joke because it's Father's Day. I was about to do a dad joke. But I stumbled over it, and it's not going to happen now. The dog mother says, I'm on the other side of the continent, Kevin, and we have no grocery shortage. At Random says, no, there are certain things that are consistently not available. Oh, what kind of things? What are we not getting at Random? Cat foods are harder to find. Okay. Sure. Baby formula. We know about that. Backyard furniture, really inexpensive. That's good. I can't see that. Oh, well, let's see. Clothing, loungewear. This is from Stephanie. Clothing, loungewear, backyard furniture are really inexpensive. Now you're looking at the bright side. Okay? Do not look at silver linings. We're talking about facts and friends. And today, this morning, we're Republicans, and we do not look at good things. Only impending doom. That's the brand. You're not understanding how this works. Remember, Republicans don't see the glass as half full. They see the gas tank half empty. Which is how you save money, by the way. Just fill up your gas tank halfway.
But administrations have changed out. It doesn't have to be, Maria. This is failed leadership.
Yeah, Marcy's pointing out. Marcy's on the Big Island in Hawaii. Hawaii shelves seem normal currently, that's about 8 products total through the whole store. That's good. And 3 of those products are made from taro. Blueberries are out. All brand cereal. COVID tests. Yes, COVID tests are hard to find. I get that. That is absolutely true. Judges agree. They've been having problems too. But I haven't had a problem getting COVID tests, actually. Dog Mother says, having a hard time finding MyPillow at Walmart. So there's that.
Bad politics, just a wedding to a climate agenda that has destroyed the American energy industry, that is at the base of so much of these costs.
It has not destroyed the American energy system, or what did he say? Industry. Record profits. American energy systems are doing gangbusters.
Increases. We know how to fix it. We can secure our southern border. We can get affordable energy prices. We can get the economy going back again. But the President of the United States
But you didn't. And the American economy is going again. That's why inflation is up. The economy's too hot right now, which is why the Fed is trying to slow it down by raising interest rates. It won't make that much of a difference, by the way. The problem is shortages. We do not have enough to meet demand. That's why you have inflation. But in this case, raising the interest rates on homes, you still don't have enough homes. You got 5 Americans for every available home out there. It's not the way it's supposed to work. I should say 5 households, because 5 people can live in a home.
Have to take responsibility and change directions, and he shows no signs of doing that. Rather, he'd rather lash out and tell the American people, "Don't believe your lying eyes."
Yeah, I mean, look, we continue to see the president's poll numbers at record lows. We have the numbers this morning. Just about 39% to 43% now approve of this president's performance. And yet he is digging in, continuing this climate agenda. Secretary, we have Gina McCarthy.
The climate agenda doesn't really exist because the Build Back Better plan can't go through. It's being blocked right now by Joe Manchin. What he should do is pivot directly. Oh, he's doubling down. Fine, double down. Take the climate change stuff, the incentives for green cars, etc., capitalize on that. We want to make affordable green cars for every American. Or affordable solar panels, or affordable... We need to get off this energy grid that is costing so much money and can't supply the power that we have, that we need. So go with it. And I'm asking Republicans to join us. Republicans, please do something good for Americans. The average working American family is spending XXX on XXX. We can lower the cost by doing this. And we're not going to get rid of gas cars. That's going to be a transition.
The head of the climate advisor team is telling big tech to censor any stories that they don't agree with. She's actually talking to big tech and saying, you need to wipe out, quote unquote, disinformation. Here's Gina McCarthy this week. Watch.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's not new. Disinformation is really, really bad.
Does.
The tech companies have to stop allowing specific individuals over and over again to spread disinformation. That's what the fossil fuel companies pay for.
And yet they talk about it as if it's a transition. They don't mind that inflation is stoked and has...
No, they don't want the inflation. It's not that they don't mind. It's 2 separate things and they can both be true. Inflation bad. Transition towards clean, renewable American energy. Good.
Been making everything more expensive, most notably gasoline.
Maria, you put Gina McCarthy on a video alongside me. That's like putting the red carpet in front of the bull. I've known Gina since Gina McCarthy.
Red carpet in front of... Is that 8 metaphors all at once there?
Since she was the director of the EPA, when she was just trying to destroy the businesses in my home state of Kansas when I was a member of Congress. What you just heard there is exactly the same thing. They have been trying to cancel the ideas that we've been putting forward to build an American energy complex that includes all of the above: oil, natural gas, renewable fuels, hydropower, all of those things. They've been trying to destroy those opportunities, and instead they have...
No. They have not been trying to destroy renewable fuels.
Have this faith, and
they're all about hydropower, as long as you're not, flooding places that shouldn't be flooded.
I call it a faith greatly intentionally. It is a secular religion on climate change, and
that's an oxymoron, or oxymoron if you pronounce it correctly.
It is destroying the American people's lives. This isn't academic. This isn't
It's not a secular religion. It's not, you can't have that.
about some IPCC report. This is about human beings who are trying to figure out how to afford to turn the lights on.
Yeah, those IPCC scientists, those experts in the field who all they do is study this. Those 97% who say that man-made problems contribute to climate change.
In their home and fill the gas
Just come on.
tank in their car. Gina McCarthy doesn't give a whip about that, and she is destroying the American people's lives with the blessing of the President of the United States.
Has anyone's lives been destroyed because of Gina McCarthy? Is anybody out there? And I'm sorry if they have. Is anyone watching right now whose life has been destroyed because of Gina McCarthy? Because a lot of Americans are watching right now. 14 Americans are watching right now. I don't know, some of you might be in Canada or something. But Gina McCarthy's that powerful. She can destroy your life too, Canadians. Beware.
And to try and stop information, good science, from being out in the public is one of the most dangerous things government can do. And Gina McCarthy has been an advocate for that for an awfully long time.
Yeah, and now the president wants to travel to Saudi Arabia. Secretary, I think one of the most important things that you did, that you led, was the Abraham Accords. You did a lot.
Yeah, so Trump working with Saudi Arabia, fantastic. Jared Kushner getting $2 billion from Saudi Arabia. Oh, that's wonderful. Biden going to Saudi Arabia and having talks with them. Oh, my God. How can he kowtow to those dictators?
In this past administration, as well as running the CIA and in your time in Congress. But when you take a look at the Middle East and what took place on your watch, now the president is traveling to Saudi Arabia to try to get them to put more oil on the market. How do you think that meeting plays out?
Well, I'm glad that the president recognizes that we need more energy in the marketplace. So check that one. I said something good about President Biden this
it's good.
morning. But the first place he should go to is Midland, Texas, or the Bakken Shale, or Pennsylvania. American energy is the right place to start. Instead, they started.
Right, no, he's been starting that. For months, he's been telling the American energy producers to produce more, because they can. They did back in 2019. 1 million more barrels a day.
With the Iranians and the Venezuelans.
It's an exaggeration, but you know what I'm saying. Energy production was higher in 2019. Excuse me. Here, watch this.
That have now moved to the Saudis. Look, I hope that the fact that he's taking a trip there will convince the Saudis, more broadly even OPEC, to produce more energy. I think that'd be a good thing for the American people. But when you side with the Iranians, when you side with the world's largest state sponsor of terror against Israel and against Saudi Arabia and against the Emirates, those leaders in those countries no longer have confidence in the United States, and the chance that they're going to do a solid for Joe Biden is exceedingly low. I hope he can turn the course there, but make no mistake about it. They set the mark when they made this decision to walk away from the Abraham Accords and the peace and stability that they had brought to the region, the economic prosperity that they brought to the United States of America as a result of Emiratis and Moroccans and Israelis all trading together. When they walked away from that and said, no, we want to go back into that crazy Iran nuclear deal, they made American energy prices higher.
The two are unrelated. I mean, they're related, but yeah, that's not what's happening.
And they made life worse for every American.
Yeah, and I think...
Wait, aren't our lives already destroyed because of that other chick? So our lives were destroyed, and then Biden made it worse by Abraham, Bahrain, Saudi oil.
I think that the Saudis are upset about the president continuing to try to get the U.S. back into this Iran deal. Now, we're expecting that the president is also going to visit Israel on this Middle Eastern trip. Tell me about what they are thinking right now. I know that there are reports that Israel is talking to the Saudis about improving diplomatic ties even further post those Abraham Accords. But I'm told you can't even say Abraham Accords in the White House today.
Maria,
okay.
I can imagine what Prime Minister Bennett is thinking in Israel. He's thinking that when Hamas fired rockets into Israel, it took this administration, the Biden administration, 4 days to say that Israel had the right to defend itself. They no longer have confidence that the United States and Israel will have the deep connectivity.
So, wait, did they say that Israel doesn't have the right to defend itself? Did they say that? No? They were just upset about how long Just like Biden, the guy who decided he was going to go and shoot Justice Kavanaugh. Never did, by the way. Justice Kavanaugh was protected by 2 U.S. Marshals, technically Supreme Court Marshals. So he's a crazy person, but had a gun. Because, you know, in this country, we just let crazy people have guns. That's what we do. So immediately, the president's office put out a statement condemning it. And it was featured in an article on Fox News. Biden immediately condemns the attempted assassination of Justice Kavanaugh. Yeah, of course. Biden, every time somebody asks Biden, I condemn every form of violence. And so, okay, but they're still on it. 2 weeks later, they're still on it because he hasn't talked about it to the press. He hasn't done press interviews. But everyone wants him to say, like, that's a bad thing. Of course he thinks it's a bad thing. Everyone thinks it's a bad thing. Nobody wants Justice Kavanaugh assassinated. Why won't he say it? Well, he did right away. He condemned well, he didn't tweet it. Idiots.
That we had during the time of my work and President Trump's work. And so when your friends don't trust you, when your most important ally in the region doesn't trust you, I'm confident that the Israelis are trying to figure out how it is that they're going to make sure that Iran never gets a nuclear weapon, even if the United States won't support that effort. I pray that it doesn't come to that, but I know that they must surely be trying to figure out how can we build a coalition. They're working more closely with the Arab states today than they are with the United States of America. That's not good for our country, let alone not good for the region.
Hold on. With the Abraham Accords, where they were working economically, still are, with different Arab countries, that brought prosperity to every American. But now, when they're working with the Arab countries, that's not good for them. Okay.
That matters an awful lot to people in Iowa and Kansas and Texas and Virginia. These places that I have traveled, they can all see that the stability that we had built during our 4
What is he up to? What is Mike Pompeo doing?
years has now been just squandered, thrown away, and putting us all at risk.
What a terrible shame. I want to get your take on what's going on in Iran right now. And I know that the mullahs in Iran are still trying to target you, forcing you to have extra security around. But if tensions increase and the Iranian regime actually retaliates, because you see these protesters bubbling up in Iran right now, is the area becoming more fragile? Does this become the next crisis?
I'm bored of Mike Pompeo now. I couldn't really
market
tolerate him
value
for so long. So I just want to jump ahead here and see who else is coming on here. What are those, like a couple of oil executives, economists? Who's coming up here? Same guys. We might just jump over to Fox and Friends here and see what they've got going on. Is this former DNI? Let's find out. Oh, yeah, there's John Ratcliffe. Here we go. Let's listen a little bit to the rat. No, that's from April 24th. Is he back? Nope, she didn't get him. She got somebody else. Who's this guy? Oh, Mike Turner. He's a crazy man. Yeah, they like writing letters to Biden. They're going to impeach Biden. If they win the midterms, they're going to impeach him for the same people who screamed, no, Trump didn't commit a crime. You can't impeach a president unless it's a crime. It's going to be all about Biden and Hunter and investigating Hunter. It's going to be just, you want to talk about a waste of public funds? Investigating Hunter. You want to investigate Biden? Go ahead, investigate Biden. He's the president. That's your job. Oversight Biden. That's fine. It's ridiculous, but it's fine. That's part of your job. But investigating Hunter Biden? Did the Democrats ever launch an investigation into Dawn and Eric? They did not. Okay, well, let's, because at random saying she can't listen to Maria anymore. Let's go down and just check out Fox and Friends Sunday and see what they had to say. Going to start with the national anthem because America, and we'll jump past that.
This is very graphic.
Oh, here we go. Something
Just
graphic.
waking up this morning, it is Father's Day. We hope you enjoy that
Happy Father's Day again, everybody.
with your father or with your children. But today we get to some news as well. Other children are up to it this morning. As you know, protests continue.
Hey, just want to shout out to Phil here. Hi, Phil. Ann's husband is watching right now. Just want to say hi to Phil. Happy Father's Day, Phil. And especially when it comes to being the father of a bunch of wonderful dogs. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. I'm going to say I hope you enjoy the rest of the next 17, I'm going to go 18 days. Have a wonderful 18 days, Phil.
You at the homes of Supreme Court justices. 2 nights ago, it was at the home of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas.
Day 19, you're on your own. We check in later with that and see if 19 is going to be a... I think I can extend. It looks good right now, but I don't want to promise too much.
And last night, it was at Justice Amy Coney Barrett's home. What you see there are high schoolers who are part of a group called Rise Up for Abortions. They went to Amy Coney Barrett's home. Rise Up.
I think it's Rise Up for Abortion Rights, but sure, Rise Up for Abortions. I think there it is, up in the top corner. You can see it. Rise Up for Abortion Rights. But yeah, medical freedom. Those are the words the Democrats should be saying in every third sentence right now. Medical freedom. Haven't heard it, not once. Oh, bodily autonomy. Shut the fuck up. Nobody knows what that is. Medical freedom. Take back the word.
For abortion rights. They went to Amy Coney Barrett's home and they put on this performance. They tweeted, just arrived at Amy Coney Barrett's house, dropping off babies, reenacting the American nightmare of forcing girls to give birth against their will. Headed to the Supreme Court, meet us there. They took dolls, Pete.
Yeah, see, there you go. They have baby dolls. They put blood on their pants, I guess, saying that, this is going to cause women to bleed out. Very interesting because, first of all, you see that, that if you don't think that our schools are...
This is why you never put makeup on in the car.
Training them to be activists. They really are. These are very young girls.
At random. Republicans. Independent voters. Remember, you don't have to be smart to vote in this country. Medical freedom.
This is very graphic. They're bringing baby dolls, not the best, I think, prop, because that actually brings to mind something else. Again, problems with having young kids put together these protests is sometimes they're a little off the mark. I think they actually make a...
I think they're making their point here. They're all pro-abortion, right? That's what he said. They rise up for abortions.
Pro-life point right there. But look, this is about active...
Right, but do you not see that they're all duct taped and handcuffed, holding the babies? That they're being forced to deliver these babies? Do you not get that metaphor? How much more simple do you need things before there's a comprehension? You know what? I shouldn't ask. I feel badly. It's... Yeah, you have some sort of disability, and I don't want to poke fun at it.
Activating young kids to continue the intimidation process of our Supreme Court justices. And I think it's...
Excuse me, but a bunch of high schoolers holding up handkerchiefs outside somebody's house is not intimidating anyone. No one will be changing their minds. This? Good job getting politically involved, high school kids. I hope you vote when you turn 18. But you're not doing anything right now. You're just galvanizing the other side. Sorry. You know how the Women's March changed everything? Oh, that's right, it didn't. But hey, no, knit your pussy hats.
Something we ought to be concerned about because the decision has not come out yet, Pete.
No, it hasn't. There's word it may come out on Tuesday, hence, again, speculation. We still don't know, hence the ramping up. That is disgusting, crude, inappropriate for kids of that age. Parents, presumably, escorting them alongside them. Reports are they came from New York City to be a part of that. Woman-hating fashion.
So disgusting and crude and inappropriate. And if somebody rapes them, we have to force them to give birth. Because that's not disgusting and crude and inappropriate. By the way, YouTube, I'm not saying that people should be raped and forced to give birth. I'm saying the opposite. This is, in all seriousness, I am anti-rape. Okay? Just for the record, YouTube, you don't have to give me a community standards violation for this. Okay? This is what they're saying. And I'm sarcastically pointing out, actually sardonically pointing out, that him calling them disgusting and crude because they are protesting the fact that they might have to give birth if they've been raped is a little bit ironic.
Is the phrase they use for people who are
Pro-life.
Pro-life.
Yeah.
Yes. That is the view. That is the extremist view. And when when that leaked draft first came out, one of the first things I thought is this is going to be the most extreme aspects of the left are going to come out right in front of us, because this has been the centerpiece of the core of the left-wing base from the beginning, the right to abortion. And here you have the most crass.
I just said it. There's a right to abortion. He just said it.
Example of it, 15, 16-year-olds escorted by their parents, covered in blood.
And if you look at their signs, they say, "We are not human incubators." And this is
Yes,
the message of the left, that
That is correct. Judges agree.
Our reproductive gifts as women are actually a curse. And you can see why this whole...
By the way, I just said, I was saying that these little marches and the protests and everything, they don't really do anything. They get you on Fox News, I guess. The trouble is no one is watching Fox News except the other side.
movement, the feminist movement, has lost really control of the whole narrative in terms of with trans rights and so forth, erasing women. Because if you erase what we can do better than what we can do that nobody else can do, only we can do.
What?
And you start calling us, chest feeding people or birthing people or whatever. You start erasing what it means to be a woman, and you can see that these kids are.
I don't see any signs there saying that I'm a chest feeding person. You're really conflating issues there.
Highly confused in that regard.
Yeah, my suspicion is this backfires. To the extent that this is acknowledged and owned and seen, my suspicion is this backfires, because it is, as you said, Pete, grotesque. On top of that, Rachel, you're holding a doll that represents a baby, that represents life. It's not going to influence anyone. You know what else I'll guess? More people you see in those clips will end up pro-life than you actually realize. More of those children will grow up, the ones protesting, will grow up to be pro-life than you would suspect.
Oh, isn't that... They won't. They will not. Yes, will some of them change their mind? Yes. And will some of them that are pro-life right now change their mind once they get pregnant at 24 to a guy that they met in a bar? And, they shouldn't have sex then. Okay, you go ahead and tell humanity not to have sex, because that works out so well.
Because this is a really embarrassing display that acknowledges, actually, that a life...
Really? Who's embarrassed? How is this an embarrassing display?
...is literally in your hands. It's time. I think it's time for this opinion to come out. It's time to put this behind us.
In our hands that are bound. How can they not see that part? I mean, yes, those are good-looking dolls, but they're not that distractifying.
The leakers' job, what they did, their intent has been fulfilled. They have created the influence scheme. They've created the pressure on the Supreme Court. I don't know how the Supreme Court, how much control they have about when they intend to publish an opinion or not, but I think it's time to publish this opinion, because we're looking at the ramping up of various, threats in essence. And you start to see, of course, firebombing, vandalism.
Yeah, there's been a lot. There's been over 50 attacks.
Yeah.
Janet Durek, she's the executive director of the Capitol Hill Crisis Center, which is the pro-life center, and it was attacked, and she hails the center counselors, and here's what she had to say.
We offer everything at no cost, and so it helps them. Many people want to keep their baby, and they're in a socioeconomic situation that it seems impossible, but when they go to one of our pregnancy centers throughout the nation, they're going to receive help and support in very practical ways. There's parenting skill set classes that we offer, free childbirth classes taught by professional doulas, and most of all, one of the most important things is that they...
And then once the kid is born, the Republicans will block the child tax credit so that the families can't afford food for the kids. They might get a couple of cans of baby formula, but you know what? We're out of that. And yeah, this is all we do. Our focus at our 3,000 centers is just feeding babies, but somehow we didn't do anything about the whole formula shortage. Didn't see it coming. It's what we do. 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week. Some of us work overtime. None of us foresaw the baby formula shortage. We just don't pay attention to the news, really. We don't keep up.
They start, how when you go to church, you may sit in the same pew. Well, they come on the same.
What? How is that analogy going to help anybody? You know how you go to church? You say, I don't have a pew. And then you're talking to a kid, actually you're hearing from a kid, who grew up as an altar boy, whose father or mother eventually became a Lutheran minister. I went to a lot of church. My family did not have a pew. And I've thought about this a few times.
Day every month.
It's Father's Day. I can make jokes like that.
Because we allow our clients
It's not punny.
to come back every 30 days. And so if they meet with one or two of the same clients, relationships are built. And so that is a great help to them, because then they start opening up.
Once a month? Hey, congratulations. We'd like you to have a kid. You can come visit once a month. The rest of the time, sorry.
About their fears about mothering.
She's a counselor.
But seriously, I mean, maybe at a small church, at least at the Catholic churches, I don't know anybody who always sat. I suppose there's people who love to sit in the back row. I don't know. It's more exercise walking up and back to the Eucharist. I don't know. Do people have their rows in churches? This is, again, from a guy who went to a lot of churches growing up. Not just Catholic. Across the board, any kind of religion we were in.
At one of these crisis centers. Again, this is a movement that purports to be about choice. A lot of people choose not to.
There you go. See, I just learned something. I've been to Southern Baptist Church, but I only went one time, so I didn't have my own pew. But I guess that's it, especially in smaller communities. Maybe like that's where the Johnsons sit. That's where Jessica 44 sits.
Have an abortion, and here they are firebombing the organizations that are actually doing.
And I'm not mocking Fox News for saying that. I just didn't know that was a thing.
Doing something to help them. I've met so many of these counselors. A lot of them are volunteers. The vast majority of them are volunteers. And
but does that not then promote a hierarchy of, like, this is our bench? You can't, no. You snorkels, you go sit over there. The Bopaps, you're sitting up there. I'm just making up names. I like Bopap. I think I'll change my name to Kevin Bopap. Snidely Bopap. You guys can all call me Snidely Bopap from now on. It's spelled with a Q, too. It's silent.
They are the most compassionate people. They're giving their time to help somebody in need. And here they are being threatened because if they go to work, if they go to volunteer to help women in crisis.
Yeah. So pro-abortion people, pro-medical freedom people, leave the other side alone. Do not do bad things to their clinics. No spray paint, no vandalism. Do not firebomb. I think one clinic was firebombed. I looked it up the other day. I could only find one clinic that had actually been firebombed. Very, very bad. Don't do that. Thank you. Okay.
They could be firebombed. This is terrible.
The FBI...
The Q isn't silent. It's just in the background, right? And it sees everything.
Just now kind of sort of getting around to investigating.
DOJ doing nothing? They call parents who go to school boards domestic terrorists, but
they did not.
Not people who firebomb an abortion.
Nope, they are. They're classified as domestic terrorists. Anybody who throws a firebomb at an abortion clinic, anti-abortion clinic. What? Is that even a thing? Yeah, at one of these community health centers that doesn't provide abortions, anyone who does that is classified as a domestic terrorist.
Crisis center.
And there's no real group, right? So to be classified as a terrorist organization, there has to be an organization. These are just nutbags.
Or a pregnancy crisis center. So
well, we have some other sad news for you this morning. Let's get to this. A Fox News alert. A Texas DPS trooper is shot during a pursuit overnight. Alexandria Hoff is following the latest developments. Alexandria.
We understand that the Texas Department of Public Safety trooper is in stable condition this morning. According to authorities, the trooper is pursuing a suspect near Falfurrias last night. When they came under fire, the driver reportedly
What's Falfurrias? Is that a city?
Shooting at troopers. Trooper returned fire, killing the suspect. And while thankfully this trooper is expected to be okay at this point, all of this comes as 23 law enforcement officers have been killed in the line of duty so far this year. Again, in this past case,
that is a lot lower than I thought it would be.
Or in this case, from overnight, the Texas Rangers are on scene. But of those who had died this year, that includes San Jacinto Deputy Constable Neil Adams, who died in February, and Harris County Deputy Sheriff Darren Almendarez, who died in March. And we still have several questions stemming from this overnight shooting. We don't know who the suspect is so far. We're hoping to get that information and find out why this pursuit was underway.
Speaking of police, I saw a report this morning that apparently the cops never tried to get into the classroom in Uvalde where the shooter was inside, that they didn't actually use the janitor's keys to get. The whole thing is a cluster of communication errors. Intentional communication, it seems. I don't know. I don't know that we're going to know the answers to this stuff ever. Marcy sent me something about bombs, so I'll look at that.
We will bring that information to you as soon as we get it on this breaking news. Will, Rachel, Pete.
Alexandra, thank you so much. Sure. All right, well, turning now to your headlines. The 27-year veteran who died fighting a fire in Philadelphia yesterday morning is identified. 51-year-old Lieutenant Sean Wilson leaves behind a mother and a son.
Yeah, Marcy makes a good point here. She's saying, since 1977, there have been 8 murders, 17 attempted murders, 42 bombings, and 186 arsons targeted towards abortion clinics and providers across the United States. Yes, there are doctors who are killed. There's nurses that are killed. There have been many, many fire bombings, including 2 bomb attacks in the span of 6 months at one clinic in 1984. This is not new. It's bad. Either way.
5 other
It's news. It's a firefight involving a cop. That's news. That's completely valid news.
people were pulled from the rubble when a building collapsed following an hours-long fire rescue. The inspector and 4 other firefighters are in stable condition. Today, Americans are observing our nation's youngest federal holiday, Juneteenth. President Biden officially recognizing it last year. It marks the day enslaved people in Galveston, Texas, learned of their freedom, of which was 2 years after Republican President Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation. Our friends Jack Brewer and Congressman Burgess Owens join us later today, 2 of my favorite.
By the way, you see several things about that. Biden gave us a new federal holiday. Well, what has Biden accomplished? If nothing else, we have a new federal holiday. That's awesome! Especially for every kid who's still in school right now, which in California they still are. If you're like in one of the hot places, Georgia, you're already out of school. Screw you. You don't get the vacation day. You just can't go to your bank on Monday. For all you kids with bank accounts in Georgia. Georgia doesn't even have 7-Elevens. Maybe they do somewhere. But my nephew has never been to a 7-Eleven. Grew up in Georgia. Never been to a 7-Eleven before he came out to Los Angeles. Like, how is that possible? Like, how do you grow up in Kenya and not have been to a 7-Eleven? It just doesn't seem... But I was saying something. Oh, yeah. So Biden signs it and he used pens, not a Sharpie. He doesn't take it and show everybody afterwards. Look what I did. I made a picture. He made a new holiday recognizing the suffering of the biggest shame, the most shameful thing about America's history, slavery. I don't know that you can argue that. Oh, no, there was the yellow journalism in the Spanish-American War. No, nothing else comes even close to the hundreds of years of slavery, where people owned other people. Right now, slave ownership in the United States is at an all-time low. Thanks, Biden. That's the next story on Fox and Friends. They're going to go to a diner. People are going to complain about it. I'm being sarcastic. YouTube, in case you're watching, I am anti-slavery. I'm going to say that right now. I'm against it. But what he did there is he signed it with a pen, and then another pen, and then another pen, and everyone around the table gets them a ceremonial pen that was used to sign the Juneteenth holiday bill. That's awesome. Instead of one Sharpie, all the other presidents have done this for decades. You sign, I'm going to do, what's my name? Joe Biden. I'm being Joe Biden because he can't remember his name, remember? We watch Hannity, so we know this. Sarcasm. So, J, what's after J? Give me another pen. Boom. Give that pen to the descendant of slaves here. Let's watch. This is kind of cool. So,
fire rescues, the inspector and 4 other firefighters are in stable condition.
Happy Juneteenth, everybody, by the way. And happy Father's Day and happy Juneteenth. Thank you for pointing that out, Marcy. I thought of that before I started the broadcast, but then.
Today, Americans are observing our nation's youngest federal holiday.
Okay, look at all those pens. See all the pens he has here? Hold on, for those of you watching on your phone. Look at all these pens. This is what a president does, not Sharpies. Okay? So then you take your pen.
Juneteenth. President Biden officially recognizing it last year. It marks the day enslaved
Okay, wrote just a little bit there. Watch what he
people
does.
in Galveston, Texas learned of their freedom, of which
Puts
was
the cap
2
on,
years.
Holds it up. The guy behind him says that give it to her. She might be the elder descendant of slaves, I'm assuming. I don't know exactly who that is. But somebody who deserves that pen. Let's make it super big for you here. There we go. Now watch what happens here. And this is kind of cool.
After Republican
Hands her the
President
pen. She's old. It slips right out of her grasp. But watch what happens next.
Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation
Kamala
Proclamation.
bends over, kneels over, doesn't really bend, very ladylike, reaches down, retrieves the pen, and puts it in her own pocket. I'm kidding. She gives it back to the lady.
Our friends Jack Brewer and Congressman Burgess Owens join us later today. Two of my
Sorry about that. Wrong button. So, very cool. And that's what you're supposed to do when you sign a bill. This has been 20 minutes of bill rants with your Kevinly Father. Thank you for watching.
favorite guests.
I don't know what this is about. Oh, here we go. This is
But
the fall.
share their Juneteenth message. President Biden literally hopping out of church like a bunny to prove he was not hurt after taking a hard fall from his bike. Ow! Ow.
Have we determined why he fell? Does he hit a curb or something? Do we know? I haven't looked into it a whole bunch.
And they come to react and share their Juneteenth message. President Biden literally hopping out of church like a bunny.
But this is not him hopping out of church like a bunny.
To prove
Was it toe clips? I didn't see that he was wearing bike shoes, so I don't know.
he was not hurt after taking a hard fall
Oh, yeah. This is terrible camera work.
from his bike. Ow! Ow. But the fall catching.
Well, show the part where he hops right back up. You want to show him hopping like a bunny? Got right up and started shaking hands and talking to the kids in a family. Was fine. Okay? So we're going to see him hopping like a bunny?
But the fall.
Okay, yeah. That is a little bit like a bunny. I like that. He didn't do the ears, though. If you're going to do that with the ears, you got to, like, if you're going to hop, go for it. He's fine. Like in all that time, and all this time, I have never seen Trump so much as hop. Even when he's shooting hoops, there was some image of him like taking a shot, a free from years earlier, and his feet never leave the ground. There's no motion in his legs whatsoever. It's all arms. And if you know basketball, that's not how you shoot a free throw. He's fine.
There he was. All right. But the fall catching the attention of former President Trump.
Oh, God.
I hope he has recovered because, as you know, he fell off his bicycle today.
Yeah, he recovered immediately. He stood right back up.
I make this pledge to you today. I will never, ever ride a bicycle.
Yeah, huge self-own.
That is probably the best presidential
Yeah, he does have toe clips on.
pledge I've heard in a long time.
Yes. Why? Because we don't want our presidents to be in shape? Biden rides frequently. And he rides at a pretty good clip, too. No pun intended.
Trump did send Biden well wishes after his hard fall.
Okay, show him standing
I
up.
think this is a great pledge. I actually sent our producers a picture of Barack Obama riding a bike in mom jeans. I don't think any president should ride a bike. I think
he was wearing dad jeans. I mean, but okay.
it does not look presidential. I don't know if you guys agree.
It doesn't look strong.
No, it doesn't look strong. And then
No.
this can happen. You know, this was bad planning on the part.
You know the guy you're all fawning about so much, Putin, tripped on a hockey rink on a red carpet. It's one of my favorite clips of all time. But yeah, sometimes people fall down. You know, Trump almost fell on the stairs coming up at a speech. Just, I think there were 4 stairs to get up to the... People fall down, and that's okay. Trump fell just walking on the stairs. Biden's done that too. We all do that. We all stumble from time to time. Biden's riding a bicycle. People fall off of bicycles. And what's the important thing? You get right back on. Was Obama wearing okay, apparently Obama was wearing mom jeans. He wore mom jeans. I thought they were dad jeans, but okay.
Part of, you know, his staff who's been trying to interfere with him with Easter bunnies and Jill taking away. I mean, he's...
Yeah, you know what he's doing? He's not paying $5 a gallon for gas.
falling going up the stairs to Air Force One.
Right.
Why would you put him on a bike?
Hold on. He bikes all the time.
Oh, my God. I agree with Pete Hedges. No, let's see where he's going with this.
Every weekend he's biking.
I know, but he falls also a lot.
Well, what are you gonna do?
No, this is the first time we've seen him falling on a bicycle. For the amount of mileage per fall, he's doing pretty well.
A
Tell
good
a guy
thing.
he can't bike.
He should go for a walk.
This is what Fox News calls news. Wow.
Well,
And actually, walking is healthier.
I would say this.
It is not. Walking is not healthier than cycling.
You told me that, Will.
What?
We talked about how healthy walking was last weekend.
Yes, we did talk about that.
It's not healthier than biking.
I agree with you.
Biking gets your heart rate up higher. Now, if you're doing speed walking, there might be an argument there. Speed walking, also very bad for the knees if you're not doing it properly.
Biking, and I'm sorry, cyclists, biking in general is not.
I am a
call it
cyclist, by the
presidential.
way.
You are a cyclist.
Yeah, but I'm
Biking in general is not what you'd call presidential. Fox News, everybody.
not a president.
Also-
I can get on my Peloton
also
or my
with that
bike.
big bike helmet.
Yeah, it just
Yeah, I
doesn't
don't wear a
add up.
bike
How
helmet.
about this?
That's so lame.
It's not intimidating.
Okay, so Pete was okay for a second there. He bikes all the time. Now it's like, you gotta wear that big bike helmet. Rolls his eyes. Oh, the bike helmet with the safety.
It's not.
It's not.
It's the opposite of intimidating.
Yeah. However, I will say
Because you want your president to be intimidating on a bicycle. All right, you don't want him setting examples for the biggest childhood injury problem in this country. Is kids hitting their heads, falling off of things. Wear a helmet, kids. Don't you dare intimidate the American public.
this. He fell. It's embarrassing for him. It's embarrassing for everyone. It's a
He got right back up again and hopped away.
fall. I saw him. He
Like a bunny.
couldn't get his toe out of the little toe clamps for a minute. And and honestly, it's impressive that, what is he? Is he 79?
He's almost
80?
Yeah.
I mean,
years old. Thank you. I also agree with whoever that is. I think his name is Will.
you know, good for him. He's biking.
Yes, good for him. That's your lead story. 79-year-old man still biking in pretty good shape. 79-year-old man doesn't have the world laughing at him when he tells everyone he's 230 pounds.
He's 80.
If I'm still breathing at 79, I've won.
He is
Gave
physically.
us the hop, hop, hop.
He gave us the hop, hop, hop.
Yeah.
You know, it is embarrassing.
Hop hop from Pop Pop. Oh, that's right. They've banned Dr. Seuss. So
But good for him at his age that he's that active. I really do mean that. I think that
good.
but cycling is not the coolest looking thing in the world, but good for him. He's
That
active
was a
like that. at that
nice
age.
father.
What do you want him to do? What should the president do to stay in shape? That's cooler.
Day.
According to her, speed walking.
Nice.
Thank
So
you.
charitable
I mean
of
it.
you. I
mean
love
it.
it. The rest of
I know. Trump can't go down a ramp. Thank you, Shelley. And we're making fun of Biden.
America's laughing, but we'll
I think you're allowed to do both. I think you're allowed to do both.
Okay, all right.
The manhunt is on for
fair.
4 inmates who escaped from.
All right, I think that's enough. Now that we've covered how uncool cycling is, I think I'm going to go cycling. So happy Father's Day, everybody. Oh, that's exactly an hour. How funny. I hit exactly an hour on the dot. I usually, you know me, I like to hit 4:20. Blaze on, everybody. Happy Father's Day to you. I am kidding, by the way. I don't smoke weed. I had a gummy vitamin or something. Gummy vitamin? Gummy sleep thing? My brain and marijuana just are not a good mix. Someday maybe I'll show you guys the video I did. I smoked weed one time legally. It was in Washington State. It was already legal. I smoked it. I videotaped myself during the experience, telling myself, "You're not having a good time, buddy. Do not do this." We should all do that. Next time you're drunk and sick, videotape yourself and send it to yourself, explaining what a miserable time you have. Just hold the camera there as your head is in the toilet, and you'll still get drunk again. That's the way it works. Okay, kids, have yourself a wonderful Father's Day. For those who have fathers, give them a call. For those of you who don't have fathers anymore, think about them fondly. And for all you fathers out there, make sure you stay in the family, because that's what Father's Day is all about. Be good to yourself, be good to others, and be good to a father today, would you?